In order to be consistent with the new habits you've created from self-improvement, you also have to link it with a new identity as well. For me, the only way to recover from the self-destructive habits of younger Jack was to focus on two basic things: my sleep and what I do right when I wake up. I was extremely consistent with these two things. And if you can be consistent with these two things for even a week, you will be able to change the foundations of your day and thus your identity, because you are what you think about. And when you're consistently tailoring your purpose around the end and start of your day, you will be able to change your identity. So here's what you can do. Imagine you're trying to stretch a rubber band. That is your self-improvement journey. And every tug and every pull is you trying to be consistent with the habits that you are currently trying to do, which is meditate, which is go for runs and go to the gym. And before you know it, the pressure builds up too much and either the rubber band snaps, meaning you quit, or it reverts back into place, meaning you start all over again. That is the journey and that is the self-improvement journey of 99% of people. Now, if your goal is to stretch the rubber band as much as possible, then the best possible thing to do for yourself is to make the rubber band bigger. Because the longer you stretch it, the more consistent you'll be and the more habits that you'll actually have that are good for you. All throughout your self-improvement journey, you will face a need to change your identity, your rubber band. And along with it, it will be started by some foundational action that you did, that you were consistent with. Because imagine you're trying to create and deconstruct a pyramid so you can make an even bigger one, right? You wouldn't just build on the tip of the old pyramid, the foundations of the bigger pyramid, right? You would deconstruct the old pyramid. You would deconstruct the foundations so you can build an even bigger foundation. So instead of trying to do all these supplementary habits like meditation and this, the best thing to do is to start with the foundations and the most important habits, which is your sleep. So sleep is that foundational action that will take you from day 0 to day 30 that will help you mold and create the new identity that you are looking for right now, that will allow you to be consistent, that will allow you to feel proud of yourself, because all other things will branch off this foundation. So with sleep, the most important thing isn't actually sleeping more, it's sleeping consistently more. Meaning you decide on a time you sleep and a time you wake up, and you stick to it with a margin of error of 5 to 10 minutes. Dr. Matt Walker, a sleep expert, has explicitly said that the secret to good sleep isn't sleeping more or doing this and sleeping 9 hours one day and 11 hours the next, because you want to regulate your circadian rhythm. In all things, there is a rhythm and pattern. If you think about your ancestors, if they had irregular sleep, it meant they were in a completely new environment and they were getting chased by like a saber-toothed tiger. The only way to create stability and the ability to be consistent is to start with the basics, which is your sleep. Because if you sleep consistently every single day, you are signaling to your brain and your ancestral instincts that your environment is safe, and you'll be able to then go from fight or flight, the survival state every single day, to a much more advanced place, a much more advanced human part of your brain, which was the main cause for the advancement of humankind. It was the creation of a stable environment in which they could think about all of the more complex conceptual things like meditation, like working really hard, because they're not worrying about the basic necessities. In order to not make this just another self-improvement video that you're just gonna binge upon, I need you to do this. I need you to search up Sleep Calculator and just click on the very first website and then just go through it. When do you want to wake up? And what is the pairing time that you should go to sleep at? You should have multiple choices, but I would recommend trying to pick the earlier option, the 5 a.m., the 6 a.m. The 2 to 3 hours in the day that you have will allow you to do so much more. And that is our second point. That is the second thing. It's what you do right when you wake up. When I woke up early at 5:40, I exercised this concept called front loading, where you do the hardest, most impossible tasks at the start of the day. You'll know what task it is because that is the task that you've been procrastinating for the last 3 months. And the best case scenario is you knowing what task it is and then making sure that there is not a single decision you make between when you wake up and doing that task. That means you don't brush your teeth. That means you don't use the bathroom or go outside of your room or make your bed and be productive, because making your bed is the first step to consistency because you're being consistent. No, that doesn't matter. You have to be consistent with the things that matter, the things that are foundational to you, which is the thing that you're avoiding. The magic you're seeking lies within the work you're avoiding. That is what you should be looking for. That is why you should wake up early. That is why you should sleep early, so that you can focus on the work. This isn't just about blind productivity. It's about creating the mindset for you to succeed, creating the work necessary for you to succeed. So if you can do this to basically make sure that your environment is stable by making sure that you're consistently sleeping and sleeping well, but also making sure that you do the work and do not procrastinate within the work, you will be able to be consistent with everything else, because those are just supplementary tasks. Those are just supplementary tasks for your new identity. In order to create this new identity, in order to create this new rubber band and be consistent, start with these two things, which are the most important two things. And guess what? When I was able to just wake up early and make sure that that was the very first thing I did, I made that hard thing easy. It was 1,000 times easier. I'm not exaggerating. It was 1,000 times easier than trying to do it late at night or trying to do it later in the day, because I was at 100% brain capacity. I was at a 100% decisional making power. You only have a limited finite amount of willpower. And if you're at 100% when you're doing a task, that task will be so easy. But if you're at 50 or 40 after a long day of work, school, or whatever, then it's going to be significantly, exponentially harder. By doing these two things, not only are you going to create the foundations necessary for your success, you will be ahead of 99% of men. You will be ahead of everyone, and you will be able to join the 1th percentile.